Today I'm on my way to Dedham, to River Stour, and I'm going to be looking around just upstream of Dedham Mill, and it gets a bit wilder up here. The pathway is quite overgrown, there's lots of vegetation around, plenty of stinging nettles. People don't like stinging nettles, but actually they're good for a number of species, including the caterpillars of the peacock butterfly, which really does love chomping into that. And there's our familiar cuckoo spit, which I saw in the garden the other day on one of the other videos. Got plenty of damselflies around as well. But what I'm looking for is actually right down in the vegetation by the side of the river. I'm looking for the signs of water voles. Now with water vole surveying you have to get right down into the vegetation, so you've really got to pull it apart there, because they're going to be tucked in right near the water's edge and deep down. And here we go, here's a water vole trail through, and there's feeding signs and also the very characteristic droppings, which look like little green or brown tic tacs. So never eat brown tic tacs, that's my advice. And if we have a little look further along, we can see where they've trampled down the water's edge. There are a few droppings lying around as well. They leave these huge latrines around, which are their territory markers. So that's lots of little piles of droppings. And it's actually quite difficult to see the animals themselves, because they're trying to stay fairly concealed. So they're tucked away in the vegetation. So really most of the time you're not actually looking for the animals themselves, but you're looking for the signs of the animals. Now that's usually big piles of feeding signs. They chop the vegetation up with an extraordinary little 45-degree cut on the end. So that's very distinctive. So the next time you're down on the river, have a quick look in the undergrowth. Now I've moved down to the Stratford Old Channel, which is just round by the mill, but it bypasses the mill and goes under this rather tatty looking bridge and then joins the main channel where the boats are. Now that is the route that the otters take to come through. Now if I have a look underneath the bridge, you'll see that there are these ledges. Now they were actually built as part of the bridge to allow otters to walk underneath. And it really has worked, because the otters use this area to mark their territory. And what they're doing here is they're scrabbling up a pile of silt, and then they pop their spraints, which are their droppings, right on top of that pile, and that is what marks the territory. So we would be able to tell if you're an otter that this was already being used. Now I scare the ducks off as I'm coming out, but what I want to show you is the spraint itself, because it is so distinctive. It's full of fish scales and fish bones, very spiky looking stuff, not like any other dropping, and it smells of jasmine tea, so not unpleasant. Anyway, next time you're down on the river, just understand, there's a lot going on that you don't notice. Just have a good old look and poke around and you'll find these animals.